Liquid IV is a powdered drink mix designed to boost hydration. The company behind it claims it can hydrate you faster than water alone. And while there's some truth to that idea, the product itself isn't as unique or revolutionary as it might sound. It's actually loosely based on a formula called the oral rehydration solution. An oral rehydration solution, or ORS, is a carefully balanced mix of water, salt, and sugar that helps the body absorb fluids more efficiently. It was originally developed to treat severe dehydration caused by illnesses like diarrhea or vomiting, especially in places without easy access to medical care. Here's how it works. In your intestines, water absorption is boosted when sugar and salt are present together. Sugar helps the body pull in sodium, and sodium helps draw water into the bloodstream. This teamwork makes rehydration faster and more effective than drinking plain water, which only replaces fluid and not the essential salts and minerals your body needs. Drinking too much plain water when you're severely dehydrated can actually make things worse by diluting your body's salt levels even more. This is why an ORS is so important in severe dehydration. It restores both fluids and electrolytes. By the way, if you're into reviews and deep dives on supplements like this one, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. That brings us to the big question. Does Liquid IV actually qualify as a true ORS? Technically, no. The World Health Organization, or WHO, has a very specific formula for what counts as an official oral rehydration solution. In a typical 16-ounce serving, or about 2 cups, a WHO ORS contains about 816 milligrams of sodium, 370 milligrams of potassium, and 6.4 grams of sugar. Liquid IV, on the other hand, has almost twice the amount of sugar and far less sodium. Assuming you use it as directed, 1 packet mixed into 2 cups of water. Its higher sugar content and lower sodium levels make it significantly less effective for treating medical dehydration. In short, Liquid IV is ORS inspired, but not a true ORS. Its purpose is going to be different from what a true ORS is supposed to do. True ORS products are made to treat severe fluid loss from things like stomach bugs. Liquid IV is more about giving athletes or active people a small hydration boost after sweating. Still, Liquid IV claims its product is, quote, classified as an oral rehydration solution. How? Because in countries like the US, there are no strict regulations on using that term, unless the product is marketed specifically as a medical treatment. Since Liquid IV is sold as a wellness or sports drink, not a remedy for medical dehydration, it can use the ORS label without needing FDA approval. So how does Gatorade stack up against Liquid IV? And what about all the other popular hydration mixes out there? How do they compare to the gold standard, the WHO's ORS? Well, the short answer is that most of the big commercial brands don't come close, but I've gone ahead and ranked them based on how closely they mimic the effectiveness of the WHO's formula, which I'm putting right at the top. A couple of standout options, Normalite and Trioral, come extremely close to hitting the mark. These two are probably your best bets if you want something as close as possible to a true ORS without needing a prescription. The flavored version of Normalite is sweetened with sucralose, while Trioral's flavored option uses stevia. If you want to skip sweeteners altogether, both brands also offer unflavored versions. Those are your closest match to a true ORS. Just keep in mind, without added flavor, you're going to taste the electrolytes more, which can be a little off-putting. Next up are the mixes that try to mimic an ORS, but add extra sugar to improve the taste. Pedialyte powder and Amazon brand Electrolyte mix are actually surprisingly similar. Honestly, they might even be made by the same manufacturer. Pedialyte keeps closest to the recommended sugar level, while Drip Drop goes much heavier on the sweetness. Meanwhile, Liquid IV falls somewhere in between. Here's the thing, if a hydration mix has too much sugar, it can actually have the opposite effect, pulling water out of the body instead of helping it absorb. So while having a little less sodium isn't great, too much sugar is a bigger issue. That said, Liquid I.V does have an edge over the other two when it comes to ingredients. It uses cane sugar and skips the artificial sweeteners and dyes you'll find in the other two, so it earns some points for being a bit cleaner. Then there are the lower sugar options like Hydromate and None. Their electrolyte content is a little all over the place, but the bigger issue is that they don't include enough glucose, which is the key to helping your body absorb sodium. And without enough glucose working together with the sodium, your body won't hydrate as efficiently. Taking this problem even further, we have the zero sugar options like LMNT and Ultima Replenisher. While they market themselves as low calorie and keto friendly, the lack of sugar actually limits their effectiveness as an ORS hydrator. Glucose is a crucial part of what makes an ORS work. Without it, you're basically just drinking flavored water with some salts dissolved in it. And at the bottom of the list, mixes like Scratch Labs and Gatorade. While they do contain electrolytes, they pack in far too much sugar, anywhere from 3 to 5 times what's found in a true ORS. At that point, the extra sugar can start to undo the hydration benefits. Now, as for cost, most of these products fall in the $1 to $1.50 range per packet. Just keep in mind that they're not all meant to be mixed with the same amount of water, though most recommend mixing with at least 16 ounces or 2 cups. So what's my take? If you're going for hydration, try oral is probably the best bang for your buck. It's effective and highly affordable, even if it doesn't win any taste tests. Liquid I.V, it falls somewhere in the middle. Not great, not terrible, but definitely pricey. Everything below drip drop on the list likely won't hydrate you any better than water, and in some of the high sugar cases, you might actually be better off just drinking plain water. What if you want the real deal without the price tag? You can actually make your own ORS at home. All you need is 1 liter of clean water, 6 level teaspoons of sugar, and a half level teaspoon of salt. Stir until it's fully dissolved. That's it. This homemade mix doesn't have the flavorings, vitamins, or potassium that products like Liquid I.V offer, but it's just as effective when it comes to real hydration, especially in situations involving illness or significant fluid loss. But here's the honest truth. For most people doing everyday activities or moderate exercise, you probably don't need an electrolyte drink at all. Your body can stay perfectly hydrated with plain water and a balanced diet that naturally provides the minerals and salts you need. Unless you're pushing your body through intense or prolonged physical exertion, think ultra marathon level sweat sessions, you're not losing enough electrolytes to justify supplementation. During typical workouts, you only lose a small amount of salt through sweat, and your body has stores of these minerals to draw on. Most people can simply replace what they've lost through normal meals and water. Adding an electrolyte mix in these cases is kind of like adding extra sodium and sugar your body doesn't really need. And let's be honest, most of us in North America are already getting more than enough salt and sugar in our current diet. In fact, for people with conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, unnecessary electrolyte drinks can do more harm than good. And those added vitamins, they don't really contribute to hydration either. So unless you're in a situation with significant fluid loss like illness, extreme heat, or endurance sports, you're better off skipping the fancy hydration products. Just drink some water and maybe grab an apple. It'll hydrate you just fine and actually give you some real nutrition while you're at it. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. What electrolyte drink mix do you use, and what are your experiences? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, and share this video with someone you know who can use the info.